If you are listening to this podcast, it means you're searching for someone who understands you, someone who gets you. You are yearning to be understood and to belong. Welcome to the Someone Gets Me podcast, where we help smart, talented, and sensitive people navigate an often insensitive world. I am Diane Allen, your host. My roles as ambassador, author, speaker, and intuitive mentor for bright and talented people are woven into each episode. I have the experience and knowledge to educate and inspire, as I have been there and I understand your unique intensities, sensitivities, and challenges. Welcome. How to get what you want. Hi friends, it's Diane here, and today we're going to talk about getting what we want in life. Now, we all have goals and visions and ideas and dreams and desires. Every one of us does, even when we don't admit it, right? And some people say they have the key to manifestation and all of these different principles and all of these different action steps to take. And there's just so much out there about getting what we want in life and achieving what it is that we want to do. And one of the questions I ask my people all the time is, what are you trying to do? What's the goal that you have? And as an intuitive mentor, my job is to come alongside of you and work with you toward the goals that you say you want, not to impose my own agenda on you. Now, if I have a really cool intuitive idea, I'm not going to hold it from you. So we want to have a plan of action, and we want to have a way to secure the journey. So the whole idea here is to be very secure and clear in our destination or where we're headed, and to be very flexible with how we get there. So many people get stuck on what I call destination addiction. They're so focused on the end, the goal, the finish line, whatever that is, that they get addicted to that and they miss lots of opportunities along the way. One of the things I've noticed in my 40-year career is that we can all set out with the best of intentions, and this is the goal, and this is the way it's going to be. And if we stay true to ourselves and we grow and evolve along the way, the destination, so to speak, the end result, will be different than we imagined in the beginning. Why? Well, because we grew, we've changed, the world's always evolving and changing. And what looks magical and amazing today may or may not be exactly that as we arrive, plus we change. The other thought I have is that there's no such thing as a finish line. There is no finish line. It's more like mile markers. And so when we get caught up in what it's going to look like in the end, whatever that means, we can distract ourselves from some of the most important aspects of coming together and getting our goals the way we want them. So I've come up with a few little things I want to share with you that are vital aspects and vital parts of getting what we want, being happy, and having a sense of satisfaction and success and something really great as a result. And so the first thing that we want to have, no matter who you are, no matter if you're gifted and sensitive or a professional or student, this does not matter. These transcend all of the human things, and these ideas I'm thinking of are universal. So the first thing that I think about is clarity, and that is being able to clearly see in our mind's eye, in our heart, somehow clearly see what we want. I gave an example to one of the college students I was working with, and he was saying he wanted a raise. I said, well, how much of a raise at your work? And he said, I don't care. I just want a raise. I said, okay, so if I was your boss and I gave you $0.10 an hour a raise, would that make you happy? Is that the goal? Are you satisfied with that? He goes, no. I said, well, we want to be specific. How much of a raise? Because if you just say you want something and it's very vague, like I want a raise, if you got a penny an hour, the boss is giving you the raise. But that's not what you were thinking. So it's very easy to have discontent and resentment and upset when we're not clear. There's another time where I noticed this too. And it's happened more than once over my career, many times actually, where somebody will tell me they want to be happy. And I'm okay, that's an excellent goal to be happy. And then I would say, how do you know you're happy? What's the criteria, the evidence procedure, if you will, that you are using to tell that you are happy? And of course, I usually get that confused look. And then when I get that look in the person after the person says, "Well, I don't know," my next response usually is, "Well, how do you know you're not happy now?" If you don't have criteria, you don't have an evidence procedure in place to let you know that you're on track. Now, you can always reserve the right to change your mind, and you can always have different criteria come in because we are changing and evolving all the time. But if I don't have a clear vision and a clear understanding of how I'm going to know when I got there, when I'm getting to where I'm headed, then always success and happiness and getting what we want will seem like it's eluding us. And I think sometimes there's more people out there attaining their goals and going after their vision because they don't even really realize that they're making a vision in their mind, or they have the clarity, or they're not paying attention to the outcome. So clarity is extremely important. A piece of this clarity that matters to me as well is being able to say it to another person, to communicate in a clear, understandable way what it is you see and want. As intuitive mentor now, I work with a lot of gifted creative people, and as my longtime career as a therapist and counselor, the more clear somebody can explain what it is they're looking for or communicate it in some way, it was easier for me to help them because I could see the picture. And it's like I worked in this with this very big company one time helping the board, and some of the people were visionary and some people were strategy, and it was a great mix of people. However, some of the visionaries struggled with giving a clear message of what they were looking for so the strategy people could put it together. It matters that we learn how to communicate what is important to us, what the vision is, what the goal is, and how we will know when we are there. And the communication can come in writing, in drawing, in art, in interpretive dance, right? It can come in any way. It can come verbally, but it matters that we learn how to communicate what we see in our mind's eye or what our heart's desire is so that other people can come into alignment with us. Especially if you're in a family or you run your business, your own business or something, if you're trying to tell your assistant or anybody, this is what I'm doing, and you're not clear about it, it can create a lot of rub and a lot of just I just think of it as like static. It kind of can mess things up. So let's have clarity. Now, if you don't have clarity, or you've been one of those people says, "Oh, whatever the highest good is. Oh, whatever, whatever, whatever." No, 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 no. The highest good will prevail, but we have to start saying, "Okay, well, this is what I desire." And so if you're not clear, number one, get clear. How do you get clear? You journal, you meditate. I'm a manifesting generator, so I talk to other people and engage with other people, and they help remind me of things that helps my clarity. But we take the time and invest in ourselves with protected and dedicated time to become clear. If you need help with that, hit me up in the show notes on my email, and I'm glad to help you. The second thing I want to talk about is having certainty. And that's a conviction, really. It's a conviction that this is the way it's going to be. I always say the grass is green, the sky is blue, and this is what I'm doing, right? So that I have that inner conviction, that inner knowingness, that certainty that this is what I'm after. I do a lot of things with visionaries, and sometimes, having certainty and being a visionary can feel a little wonky sometimes, but they go together perfectly because we want to have a vision. Now, the vision might be I'm going to write a book or I'm going to write a song. It doesn't have to be um, I'm going to write a book that's 132 and a half pages. The clarity comes from the from the vision, from the idea, from what you want to bring to the world. And the certainty is the conviction that you can pull it off. Now, we can learn how to pull it off along the way. I think some of the beauty of our goals and our ideas and the things we're going after is who we become as we work toward whatever it is we're going after. I've raced sailboats for, decades and decades, and there are people who are just learning how to sail as adults. I learned as a child, and so as they get better and better and better, because they're clear on the fact that they really want to learn how to sail, they hang out with us who have conviction and certainty that we know what's going on. And then they start to develop that kind of clarity and certainty as well. So these things go together. And so we want to have a level of conviction and a level of being certain that this is what I'm after and who I am and how I'm going to evolve. The third thing I want to talk about, which is one of my favorites, is curiosity. And that is how we ask questions and we investigate and we go down rabbit holes and we build rapport with ourselves and others. But we also allow ourselves, with our curiosity, to be flexible, because we can have a certain vision that we want to have and a goal we want to have, but we also want to be flexible with how we get there, because the roads change, you change, the world changes, things happen, and we need to be willing to shift and change and move and be flexible along the way. And one of the best ways to be flexible is to be curious. I use a lot of curiosity based questions and comments and ideas with my clients and in my work, because I know that if our curiosity muscle is working and the flow is going in our curiosity space, then amazing things happen that far transcend what we think is going to happen, because curiosity helps our play and fun part come alive. And when we're a little playful and we're having fun and we're curious, that raises the energy within us, the vibration within us, and allows us to have a really amazing experience that we wouldn't have otherwise. Because if you're one of those people who says, well, I'm going to get this certain thing, or I'm going to make this certain goal, and that's all you let yourself see without any curiosity or open-mindedness, maybe there's something better. Maybe there's something that's that plus something that would even be better. So I always say this or something better. I'm working on a new project now. As a lot of you know, my new book, Someone Gets Me, is about to be out. It's going to be out here in a couple days. And Someone Gets Me, it has taken on its own thing, this podcast and the book and a program and things like that to work with people. And as I was finishing the book and working with one of my clients, guess what happened? The little curious muscle came in, and I started seeing in my mind's eye a whole nother thing to create. That's just as cool or amazing. So when we're curious, it allows the doors to be open for more options, more opportunities, and more amazing alignment in our lives, rather than holding on to something just because we invested time or effort into it. Sometimes holding on to old news hurts more than letting it go. Number 4 is to keep developing your character. For me, character has a lot to do with our integrity. And my definition of integrity is doing what I say I'm going to do and not doing what I say I'm not going to do. It matters to me that I have compassion for myself and others, that my heart is open, that I'm fair, that I'm a good steward. That a good steward means you're taking the highest care of something. You're taking the highest care of the trust of the people who you're working with. You're taking the highest care of yourself, your finances, your world, your time, and your talent. And so, what kind of character are you developing as you go along? I know when I was younger, first in the professional world, I kept hearing, dress for the part you want in the company, right? And to go after your goals. And that was true then. And that's how, that's one of the things people did. And so I think it's more than dress. I think it's more than charisma. It's character. It's who are you really? I've had many people with great charisma take great advantage of me And I've had many of my clients who are kind, wonderful people being taken advantage of by people with charisma that also lacked character. So, an external charisma and that seductive energy that comes with it um, is not necessarily good character. Character sometimes can be very quiet, like a quiet confidence. And so we want to make sure that we're always expanding and developing our character. That 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 character, that because it's going to distinguish us mentally and emotionally. Like one of the things that distinguishes me and my character is timeliness. Like I'm always on time, and if I'm going to be late, I probably don't. I'll just cancel because I don't know how to be late. That's hard for me. So I try to be on time, and another part of it is doing what I say I'm going to do and not doing what I say I'm not going to do. Now, I had situations growing up where that was not the case. Because I learned it from other people who said, say yes to everything and do whatever you want to do anyway. That's what I was taught by my own family. And then as I got older and started realizing that it was causing rifts in my friendships, but I was doing what I was taught. And then I realized that what I was taught was not appropriate and didn't work at all. So I changed. I up leveled my character. I didn't know there was an issue with the character, but back then, we're talking, I was a teenager. Um, I up leveled it. And so it matters to me to have integrity and do what I say I'm going to do. It matters to me that I have compassion for myself and for everyone else. It matters that I'm fair and that I'm a good steward. You know, you and me, and lots of us are very generous people. We give a lot. And there's also a lot of takers out there who have that charisma, who like to rip off energy, I say, or rip off money, you know. And I'm sure we've all had that happen. I know I've had it happen several times in my career where people receive services, oh, the money's on the way, and I trust them because I'm fair and I care. And I still haven't seen the money, still haven't been paid for my services. And what I know is that what I put out in good faith is rewarded in good faith. And the behavior of those other people who were charismatic that lacked character, that's called theft. And they have to deal with that. Now, I don't have to like upset my own world over it, right? Just like you don't have to upset your world over it. Now, if you've done something that's not in good character, or you're looking back and go, oh no, what about this? What about that? Or I did this. We don't blame ourselves for what we didn't know about before, right? What we do when we're going after what we want is we fix our eyes, our visionary eyes on what we say we want. We take focused action. And then if we want powerful results, we just keep taking action going forward. We're looking through the windshield of this vehicle, not the rearview mirror. All of us have made mistakes. You have made lots of mistakes. Everybody has. I have too. Everybody has. So if we walk around looking for everything that's wrong, we're going to undermine our own success. We're going to undermine getting what we want. That's why I said curiosity is so important, because curiosity helps us see that there's multiple ways to get where we're going. It helps us have fun. It helps us play a little bit along the way and realize that there's many ways to get what we say we want. And sometimes you might even change your mind along the way, and that's okay. And so your confidence, friends, comes from keeping your promises to yourself. Your confidence moving forward from this moment on comes because you keep your own promises to yourself. That's integrity. Doing what you say you're going to do and not doing what you say you're not going to do, even when no one's looking. So we start there. We start by doing what we say we're going to do, not doing what we say we're not going to do, and keeping our promises to ourselves. And we develop increasingly acute clarity about what it is we want. So if the answer is happiness or joy, or I want a car or I want a house, you keep asking yourself the question specifically, what do you mean? Until the answer is so specific that there's no more common denominators. Because the more clear you can be, the more certainty you develop, the better your curiosity can be enhancing the travel, the road to get there, and your character will support your successful outcome. And that's how it works, my friends. No matter what the goal, no matter how gifted you are or your overexcitabilities, whether you're a child or an adult, these are cornerstone pieces. It's not everything, because I didn't even talk in here about focused action other than mentioning it. We have to take action. It's just not going to drop in our laps. We have to be willing to take action out of our comfort zone. We need to be willing to step into something that's new and exciting. We need to take risks that are calculated. That's what I get to do. I get to do that every day with all my clients. And I love it because two minds are better than one, and they're sharing what's going on and I'm seeing it intuitively, and I have lots of good questions I can ask because I have a lot of experience and a lot of education and training. And together, that synergy creates amazing things. So allow people to be in your corner and support you. Reach out if you need something or want something, or you just need support, reach out. Make sure somebody hears you, right? And if you say you're talking to somebody and they're not hearing you or they're not getting you, that's about them. Even though it might hurt a little bit or it might be disappointing, that's about them. Move on to somebody else. There is somebody who will understand you. This podcast is called Someone Gets Me for a reason. It is what every single person has said after I interacted with them the first time. They're like, wow, someone gets me. So whether the person actually hires me or not, they know that they're heard and appreciated and cared about, and that somebody truly gets them. So give yourself permission to receive that kind of connection from people. That's the way we get what we want. So I hope some of these ideas have served you today. And I know that there's so many pieces and nuances in this topic of getting what we want. And there's so much content. But I think what matters is that we realize there's some overarching principles that apply to all of us in our own unique, amazing way. So go out there, be curious, allow yourself to experience the richness of life, the fullness of life, and feel that juicy love for existence itself. Remember, friends, to keep your face to the sun so the shadows fall behind you, because you're a rock star. You're here on purpose with a purpose. Go out there and let your light shine. Until the next episode of Someone Gets Me, be well. Are you tired of searching for someone to understand you? Join our Facebook group, Someone Gets Me. In this group, you will be able to connect with others who are intense, sensitive, smart, and talented. I share my insights and teachings, and you can connect with others in a real, authentic, safe forum. So join us today. Someone Gets Me.